what does legacy in business to you look like?
Well, that's good. For me, legacy is being able to leave my children something that they can pass on.
Mm,
And that is purpose. That is having a sustainable business that is operational. So a lot of people think of when they're running their business, they're just running a hustle. But if God forbid something happens to me, there needs to be something in place to where somebody can pick up the torch and still run the operation without me.
absolutely.
So that's the type of legacy that I want to leave. And then also making sure that they're aware that they have options. You know, gone are the days of just saying I can go get a good job and that's it. Because in this economy, you never know what you're going to get.
You ain't never lied. You are absolutely
Yes.
telling the truth on that one. So one of the things that you mentioned earlier that you said that you do in your business is you actually help other businesses scale. So my question would be in that because I'm also interested in your opinion because I'll ask this question. It's one of the things you'll ask questions to 20 different people, you get 20 different answers. So when you actually help other businesses scale, when they actually do begin to scale, what part of their business do you recognize that actually breaks first?
Oh, I knew you was. I was literally saying this in my head as you was saying that. Like knew what you were gonna say. The first thing it breaks is the customer experience. It breaks
Mm,
because there's no
okay.
systems and there's no customer journey in place.
Mm,
Yeah. That's the
that makes,
number one thing that breaks down. And oftentimes it's not by choice. It's just because they're scaling and they're growing at a rapid rate to where they're not understanding that, hey, we still have to go back to the drawing board and audit our business to see, okay, what's missing, what needs to be added. If I wake up in the morning, there's 50 people in my pipeline, what is it that I'm going to do to ensure they get that same customer experience?
mm, understood. So I'm so glad you used the word that I was actually going to ask you next, audit. A lot of different businesses I'll say, hey, you need to audit your business. And they'd be like, well, what does audit mean? I'm like, well, you really need to go in and make sure everything is on the up and up, make sure everything is in line, make sure your SOPs are intact and everything of that nature. Can you explain just in your words when you say audit your business, especially for those business owners that are looking to scale, what you would consider a proper audit, if that
Yeah.
makes sense?
Yep, absolutely. So the first thing that you want to do is when you go in and audit your business, you want to look at your day to day. What is happening in your business from feedback from clients, um, POS systems, invoicing, payments that are being made? You want to look through everything to see what's current, where's the gaps, where are the leaks at. And that way you go in and you don't put a band-aid on them, you actually fix those leaks. Because what'll happen is that leak will turn into a hole and it'll flood. And then your business is going bananas because you really didn't take the time to go in and audit these different lanes of your business.